It's time to buy AMC stock, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about exactly why I think this here in this video, what I plan to do, and what are the next biggest things that I am paying attention to and looking forward to. Keep in mind, when I say it's time to buy AMC stock, this is my personal opinion. This is what I plan to do. Do not follow me. Do not copy me. I'm not a financial advisor. You may or may not lose money. You might make a ton. Who knows? Anything can happen in the markets, especially with a manipulated stock such as AMC. So, a couple reasons why I'm specifically bullish right now on AMC, and some people call me a permabull. I really don't care. I mean, the data's been quite clear this whole time. But the stock is heavily manipulated. It's heavily manipulated. Just for instance, the short interest is really around 35% in AMC stock. But only 21% of it is reportable short interest. The other 14% short interest, which is high on any account for any stock, is held by market makers. And that's because institutional investors, they want to do two things here. They still want to be short massively on AMC, but they don't want you to know where the short interest really is. That's the ultimate purpose, I think, for shorting the stock in the way that they are. And if you guys are unfamiliar, if this is your first time to the channel in a while, or if this is your first time to the channel at all, market makers, they've been going out and buying deep in the money puts. That forces market makers to go out and short stock. The same way that you get a gamma squeeze to the upside when people go out and buy calls and the calls go into the money and market makers go out and buy stock, it's no different than when hedge funds buy puts that are in the money or going into the money. Market makers have to go out and short stock. It's the opposite of a gamma squeeze. It's literally a reverse gamma squeeze. And you've seen that for, again, one reason, in my opinion. Hedge funds don't want you to know how short the stock really is. I think they were getting antsy when the stock was 27% short, plus some of the market maker shorts we had at the time, which were not nearly as large. Short interest was around 38% at the time. The short interest was 27% legally, or almost 27%. So you've seen less short interest that is reportable and more of those market maker shorts. And short interest is, still almost essentially at the same levels, even though it looks like shorts covered on some of their short positions. Complete BS. Now, that's one of the reasons why I'm so bullish right now on AMC stock. From now until June 16th, and then the bigger expiration of July 21st, something I like to call indiscriminate covering, or shorting for that matter. It's market makers. They don't short or buy stock with discrimination. They don't care what kind of stock it is, what the business fundamentals look like. They don't care about any of that. And that's where I get the term indiscriminate, because they just don't care. Their job is when there's an influx of calls or puts to make sure that you or me or a hedge fund or an institution can buy them. That's what their job is. They are market makers. And not to say that they do things right or do things wrong. Obviously, they have their issues as well. But that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. So when you see an influx of these puts, market makers, they go out and they short stock. But unlike a hedge fund or institution when they short stock, market makers, it's all about the break evens of the options. If you bought a let's keep it simple, a $5 put on AMC, if you paid $50 for that, 50 cents, whichever way you want to look at it, your break even would be $4.50. Market makers are going to go out and short stock at $4.51, $4.52, $4.55. They're going to make sure that they don't lose money by being the market maker, and they're going to make money by being the market maker. So they're going to hedge out before your break even. And that's why these deep in the money puts specifically, sometimes the break even is like 2%, or 5% or 10% or very small percentages that AMC does on a week by week basis. So when you see that happening, it's indiscriminate shorting. Even if they didn't want to short AMC, they have to, because market makers, they're buying these options in the thousands, trades worth millions of dollars. Well, when AMC does rally, for whatever reason it is, if it's GME earnings, if it's AMC earnings, if it's the court case, whatever it is, those 65, now 71.2 million shares currently sold short by market makers from my estimates from the in the money puts, they're going to have to go out and buy a lot of stock very quickly. Now, second reason why I'm very bullish, wrapping what I just said to the days to cover being at the highest levels that you have seen in a very long time. If you take a look at Ortex, days to cover is 7.31. Basically, best way to look at this is how long it would take for shorts to cover on all of their short positions based off of the average trading volume. So as volume goes lower and the short position really doesn't move, well, you're going to get a higher days to cover because it's going to take longer for shorts to get out of short positions. The higher the days to cover, the better for a short squeeze. The way I look at it, it's basically showing you there's low volume and shorts are either shorting more or their shorts are staying the same, right? So you've seen low volume recently, very low volume. And actually on Friday, let's go ahead and pull it up. You've seen volume of less than 10 million. You have 112 million shares sold short. You have another 70 million shares sold short by market makers. Factor that in together, and you could see this low volume. When you get that volume increase, it's going to dramatically affect AMC stock. Dramatically. 25, 30 million shares trading hands right now could pop the stock 10 or plus percent, which is pretty atypical with AMC. Now, again, why I'm pretty bullish right now. And notice, like I said, what's really affecting AMC stock right now? What's the reason why it's been falling? Well, it's those puts. It's those options that hedge funds keep buying. You only started to see this since the start of this sell-off back here in the beginning of May. This is a pretty recent phenomenon. We were just pretty quick to call it out for you. It's only started happening in the beginning of May. Well, notice almost every day, no matter how red AMC is, it's green in after hours because people are buying the stock and options don't trade in after hours. Generally speaking, market makers don't do a lot of hedging in after hours. Now, if you get an outsized move, then sure, but smaller moves up or down wouldn't cause a lot of market makers to have to, hedge out a lot. Almost every day it's green in after hours. AMC stock was flat on the day, did not see a change at all, but the stock went up almost 1% in after hours. No news, just no more options are trading hands. So I think that is pretty telling. And this has been the same thing over and over again. Like it's been happening with AMC. So those are reasons why I'm pretty bullish on AMC. Now, I do think fundamentally speaking, this is the best time for AMC that you have seen in the history of this trade. AMC's fundamentals are getting better. AMC predicts free cash flow by the end of this year, aka able to support their business without outside funding. And that's ultimately the short thesis. The short thesis has been AMC stock is going to go bankrupt. Things are going to be terrible. Yeah, I'm not buying that. One thing that I'm specifically excited about that I think investors will get excited about around the stock is AMC popcorn. I mean, if you look at the reviews on Walmart, which some of these are Apes, some of these are investors in the company, but a lot of them are not. AMC's popcorn has 4.8 stars, 476 5-star reviews, 19 1-star reviews, 10 2-star reviews, 6 3-star reviews, and 2 4-star reviews. So overall, people seem to like AMC popcorn. Now, popcorn is a very high margin business, and that's exactly what AMC needed. And this is exactly the field that AMC can dominate in. It's popcorn. It's what they're known for. And I think this, out of anything else that AMC has done, is going to be a very big deal. I mean, they're in Walmart, for crying out loud. That's huge. That's the best partnership that you would want to get. Like, that is the holy grail of partnership. AMC's got it in over 2,600 Walmart locations. So I'm very bullish on that as well. I'm also very bullish about the possibility of GME having good earnings and that also affecting AMC in a positive way coming next Wednesday. And I think, obviously, if GME has good earnings, AMC is going to go up. If they have bad earnings, AMC is going to go down. From all indications, from hedge fund option activity, from the technicals of GME, from other factors, it looks like they're going to have good earnings. So that makes me bullish heading into next week. But just think about this. A crazy concept, especially in 2023. Crazy concept. Buy low, sell high. Everyone's buying high and trying to sell higher, especially with big tech. Some of these beaten down names, such as AMC, especially with improving fundamentals like AMC, can be very attractive right now. Now, obviously, let me stop myself there. The court case is going to have the biggest effect on AMC out of anything else. Nothing else really matters once you get the final decision on the court case. That's when things are going to change. Ape and AMC are going to convert. And it's probably going to happen. If it doesn't happen, then I think you get the MOAS. Now, if it does happen, there's also a bullish side to that as well. Every time, and I mean every time, AMC has raised capital, 1 month later, the stock has been exponentially higher, has rallied hundreds of percent every time they've raised capital. Because ultimately, why are you short in AMC is the question. Well, because you think the stock fundamentally is not as good as it once was. You want to short the stock. I mean, it's not as good now. Well, if they raise a lot of capital and they get a lot of money and bankruptcy is no longer even the remotest possibility, especially with improving fundamentals, short thesis is gone. Now, let me also give you guys a little fun fact. AMC's market cap is now where it was pre-COVID, 2018 levels, 2015 levels. And they're probably going to have better revenue numbers, give it the rest of this year. Probably going to be seeing better profit margins. There's something interesting that happens when a company is forced almost into bankruptcy. They cut back on things that were losing money. They just become more efficient. If you were about to lose your ass in your business, the last thing you're going to do is be spending money that is on things that are losing you money. That's the last thing you're going to do. Okay. I think this is kind of common sense. And I hope AMC is doing some of these things, which I believe you kind of have to if you're forced to almost go bankrupt. You get rid of those theaters that have been performing poorly. You cut back on hours. You make people be more efficient. You do what you have to do. Whether that's ethically right or not the time or place to talk about that here in this video. Fundamentally a positive thing. So I think once their revenue does get back to pre-pandemic levels, granted the market cap is back to pre-pandemic levels. It's not like you're paying an astronomically high premium to get into AMC at $4.50 per share. I mean, it is pretty similar to where it was. Only difference is the revenue, the earnings are not quite to where they were pre-pandemic, which it's coming. Ultimately, that's the bottom line. It's coming. So really, there is not a huge short case on AMC left. Either way it goes, if the courts shut down this settlement and don't let this conversion happen or delay it, they could delay it as long as they would like. I don't believe the courts have the authority to actually let this conversion not go through. I believe that would have to be like the SEC that would ultimately rule on that. But they could delay this forever if they wanted to, or until a ruling did come from someone else. So I think either way you put it, it's bullish. You could make a bullish case for it. Does that mean AMC stock will rip immediately if the courts approve the conversion? Probably not. It might go down. It might trade sideways. Most certainly is that a possibility. But another reason why I'm bullish. Buy low, sell high. Like Jim Thanos says, by the time meme stocks have rallied, it's usually too late. You want to get in when they're not rallying. And whether that is buying some of the longer dated options, I think a lot of those are very attractive right now. Very, very attractive. Or just buying the outright stock, also a very attractive option. The risk to reward at $4.50 per share looks almost too good to pass up. So on top of buying stock, which I plan to do, I plan to also buy some longer dated call options. If you guys want access to all of my trades in real time, link down below in the description of this video. That is going to do it here for this one. Some reasons why I'm currently bullish on AMC stock. Call me a perma bull if you want. I really don't care. Dispute this. Argue these facts or these claims that I am making. You can fact check them if you want. They are facts. Let me know down below in the comment section. What do you guys think about this information? Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekends, and I will see you in the next one.